They should. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Okay, it's 5:37 and I will call to order our Tuesday, November 7th, 2023 meeting of the City of Saco Planning Board. My name is Elizabeth Bouton. I'm the chair of the board. To my right is Matt Provenzel. He's our vice chair. To his right is Matt DeCiani. And then to my left is Joyce Larry Clark, Rob Biggs, and Glenn Charette. Jeff Grossman is absent this evening. And we do have city staff with us tonight, including Emily Cole-Prescott, who's our city planner, and Lisa Harmon, our planning coordinator. The first item we'll be reviewing includes minutes from both the October 17th and the October 24th meetings. Board members, I might suggest we just take these as two separate motions, just to make sure we're all on the same page with each evening. So those are found in our packet attached to the agenda itself.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the minutes of the Tuesday, October 17th, 2023 meeting as presented.
Thank you for motion, Joyce. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you for the second, Matt P. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call for a vote, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Glenn. And I'll vote yes. Motion passes, 5 positive votes, 1 abstention. Moving on to the minutes from the 24th. Questions, comments, edits? Joyce?
Well, I know there was a question in our packet tonight about including the TMP as a required permit. I'm wondering if that's something that, and Emily would have the answer to this, I guess. I mean, it doesn't seem appropriate to amend our minutes, I guess, because it wasn't discussed during that meeting. So should we wait and deal with that when we're approving the final letter?
That's what I would do. The minutes are supposed to be a reflection of what happened at the meeting.
Okay, in that case, I move to approve the minutes of the Tuesday, October 24th, 2023 meeting as presented.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Is there a second?
Yep.
Thank you for the second, Rob. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Emily, sorry. Madam Chair, similar to the October 17th meeting minutes, we had a note in there. I'm sorry. Let me go back. I believe Glenn was absent that day, and where we had that Glenn had recused himself, I think maybe just another line item in there that says he was absent that meeting. I was looking for that.
Yeah, it's at the top of the minutes, but you want to put it further down as well.
Under item 1, call to order, it has Glenn marked as absent.
Oh, I'm sorry. There it is. Yes. I'm sorry. Nope, that's fine.
Okay. Any other comments? Not hearing any, I'll call for a vote on Joyce's motion, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Glenn.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes 6-0. Okay, moving along to the next item on our agenda this evening. This is in regards to tax map 52 lot 19, and this is just a verification of findings for the denial for 321 Lincoln Street. So I'll start with an overview from Emily, and we'll move into any board questions, comments, or edits on this document.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What we've done is I've taken the minutes from the last 2 meetings, listened to the recording, and done my best to capture what I believe would be the denial letter and the supporting information and documentation on that. You're encouraged to just go through it very carefully, make sure that it accurately reflects and captures everything that the board wanted staff to write up, and we will go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Board members, any questions right now? Okay, not hearing any questions. And Emily, we do have some correspondence from today regarding this item, correct?
Yes, that's in the meeting packet. It's also available in the back of the room.
Okay, so just going to give everyone a chance to make sure that they've seen that packet that was left on our desks when we got here. Maybe I'll just pause to give everyone a chance to give me a nod that they've read it and are acknowledging receipt of it. Okay. Yep, yep. Any further discussion on the drafted document then that's in our packet that is 15 pages long?
Madam Chair, I would say just the proposed finding of fact, number 5E, other permits required, should also include the fact that the TMP is required because of the amount of traffic this project would create.
Okay, so you're proposing that we add that into this document.
Correct.
Any other comments from board members?
Madam Chair, Emily, does that captures every permit, correct? There's no other permits we've overlooked or haven't addressed specifically in this section?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I think, Emily, as your note references in part of this memo to us, we obviously do have the TMP referenced in many other locations throughout the documentation.
So the TMP was referenced in the draft findings several times that the board received. It was referenced under the traffic findings, so it's fine. We can certainly include it here because with what the board ultimately amended through their process, it just didn't get captured as a traffic movement permit. So it's totally fine to add it to the list. But it was captured in the draft findings, and it was definitely considered throughout the process.
Okay. I'm fine either way. I think we've done our job with this, but if we want to go above and beyond and cater to the comments we've received, then so be it. I'll just need a motion.
Yeah, I mean, I move to amend overview finding of fact number 5E to capture the fact that a traffic movement permit is also required for this project.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Is there a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Thank you for the second, Rob. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call for a vote on Joyce's motion, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Glenn.
Abstain?
And I'll vote yes. Motion passes with 5 positive votes and 1 abstention. Okay, so we've made an amendment to this. Any other comments, questions?
Can I make a comment that I think Lisa did yeoman's work in capturing all of this?
Yes,
This
definitely.
this was a long
Yeah.
process and a long meeting, and that's amazing note-taking.
Yep, absolutely. Any other edits anyone wants to propose?
I just would like to interject if I can.
Yep.
Under design standards, it's on page 15 of the document, Article 7. We had put a note in here because I wanted to make sure it was clear that the board did not intend to adopt Article 7 and Article 8 designs, Article 7 design standards and Article 8 standards. So I just want to make sure that that was clear. So I put in a staff note, the planning board did not adopt any of the Article 7 or Article 8 draft findings of fact presented by staff. The motion that was made here was relative to Article 7. So I just want to clarify my interpretation and my observation of that night was that you intended to not adopt anything else from that staff draft list.
Board members, any comments on that? Questions? Not hearing any, so thank you, Emily, for that clarification. Any further questions or comments on this? And if not, we do need to have a motion made for the entire document.
Madam Chair, I move to adopt the proposed overview findings of fact as presented, as amended this evening.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you for the second, Rob. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call for a vote on Joyce's motion, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Glenn.
Abstain?
And I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes with 5 positive votes, 1 abstention. Okay, Emily, do we need to do anything else with this item tonight?
Would you please just make sure that you're approving the whole denial letter so that we're very clear on what I'm sending? Because the findings of fact does not include like the cover letter. Thank you.
So maybe one more motion just regarding the overview cover letter.
Right, so I move to approve the proposed denial letter, including the cover letter and the overview findings of fact as amended.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you for the second, Rob. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call for a vote on Joyce's motion, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Glenn.
Abstain?
And I'll vote yes. Motion passes with 5 positive votes, 1 abstention. Okay, Emily, now are we good on this?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So moving on to the next item on our agenda, this is in regards to the Foster Fields subdivision. And specifically in regards to City Street acceptance for Jada Drive. So this is a Chapter 186 review. We will start with a staff overview, and then if we need to hear from the applicant, I know he's here, and then we can move into a public hearing on this.
Great, thank you. So we received this request for Jada Drive in Foster Fields. The applicant's been working with Public Works staff. Foster Fields subdivision, it came in originally as Ricker Road subdivision for those board members that have been on for a little bit longer. Consists of 9 residential houses, house lots served by private septic systems and wells off Flag Pond and Rickard Roads. And the road shown on the subdivision plan below was designed to city street standards, and hence the reason for the request now. We have provided you with packets from 2018, 19, and 21, so you can reference the historical materials that the board reviewed. We also sent this out to the different departments, so the Chapter 186 request requires the planning staff to send the city street review to all the different departments as well as the Conservation Commission, so we've done that, and you'll see the comments received here from the different departments. We also received a comment back from the Conservation Commission chairperson saying that she received the request. They don't have comments at this point. We did notice this as a public hearing of some discussion items. Our city street acceptance is covered by Chapter 186 as well as 188-911 of our ordinances. City attorney has reviewed the deed and legal descriptions provided. We've gone back and forth. There may be one final set of amendments, but we're in a very good spot with what we have right now. And then the planning staff did a compliance check. We think it's really important to go back to those original conditions and make sure that they've been fulfilled. I was able to verify that all of the conditions except for number 19 were fully fulfilled. I'm just not 100% clear on number 19, but the applicant has responded. The board can ask any questions regarding that. So with that, I'll hand it back to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Board members, any questions right now for city staff on this request? Okay, not hearing any questions. We do have the applicant with us tonight. Does anyone wish to have him come forward and chat with us about anything?
I'm fine.
Okay. Personally, I'd love to talk to him about condition 19 at some point. Joyce, I know you're about to speak.
No, that was my same, I was trying to get to condition number 19.
Yeah, it's on the top of...
50-foot right-of-way adjacent to the existing lots. Yeah, I think that's an important question. Is there going to be an issue with existing structures?
Okay, so Dan, why don't we have you come up now?
Hi. I don't think so. I went over and took a measurement. There's a detached garage is the only thing that would be close, and I took a measurement to the monument of 40 feet, which I think we need 30. So first, I think I noted to Emily that I scaled it off the plan, and it ended up actually being further away when I took a physical measurement. So didn't think I needed a surveyor out there. We're well over the 30-foot. You know, it has to be 2 front setbacks being a corner, corner lot. I guess it would be considered the structure that we're talking about. So, wasn't even close.
Okay, so Emily, is there any other clarification that staff is looking for on this, or?
We can always verify with the code office if there's any additional concerns.
Okay. So Joyce, any other questions on that?
No, and this is, I mean, this isn't a road that's going to be built now. This is
No,
just a
it-
right-of-way
it-
for future use?
No, this is the road that's built.
Oh,
It was a question at the beginning, and I think I addressed it with Teradyne, and they had told me that the design met the setbacks, but I guess they just wanted to double check, so that's what we
Okay.
did.
Thanks, sorry about that.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant? Not hearing any. We have advertised this as a public hearing tonight for this item.
Move to both the public hearing.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Is there a second? Thank you for the second, Glenn. I'll call for a vote on opening the public hearing, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Glenn.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes 6-0 to open the public hearing on this item, which again is a Chapter 186 review for Jada Drive, which is in the Foster Field subdivision in the RC zone. If you've joined us this evening to speak on this item, you're welcome to come forward now and just start with your name and address for our records.
Madam Chair, not seeing anyone coming forward, I move to close the public hearing.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Is there a second?
So moved.
Thank you for the second, Glenn. I'll call for a vote on closing the hearing, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Glenn,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes 6-0 to close the public hearing. Okay, back to board discussion.
Madam Chair, I should probably point out something that I wasn't thinking of until I was looking at this plan just now is directly across the street from the Ricker Road entrance to this street is my brother's house. And next door to him is a lot of land my mother owns. And I know I disclosed this when this subdivision first came forward, but we have a slightly different configuration of the board at this point.
Thank you, Joyce. Yeah, I remember that from the start of this.
None of them showed up at the public hearing and had any input on it
They're not here.
years ago. They're not here tonight.
Board members, any questions or concerns on that? Okay, not hearing any. Thank you, Joyce.
If you can just turn to the applicant, too.
Oh, sorry. Dan, any concerns with Joyce sitting with us tonight, given that her brother lives across the street from one of
No.
the entrances? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we do have some language regarding the Chapter 186 conclusion and finding that we would be making either in the positive or negative.
Madam Chair, Emily, a question. If condition 9 has been met, how can we still have question on condition 19? So if condition 9 with as-built plan submitted and reviewed, wouldn't that include verification as to any, or it should, I guess in my eye, that it should include clarification and confirmation that there are no setback issues to any existing structures?
So as-built plans, the review of those do not confirm whether or not there are setback issues. What they do is they confirm what has been built on the ground versus the plan that was proposed. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to be fine, but I'm just saying I have not myself confirmed that condition 19 has been fulfilled. You can certainly direct staff to clarify and confirm, and I can report back moving forward.
Yeah, I guess I think the condition's there because it's important, so I think it should be confirmed. There's a lot of work out there and a lot of activity and a lot of pieces and parts and stuff that must be completed. It doesn't seem like a heavy lift to confirm that 19's been met.
And I think if I can, Madam Chair, it's not a heavy lift. I think the applicant has told you that they've self-confirmed it, so if you're comfortable going with that, and then staff will just, triple confirm before everything is closed out.
Okay.
Anything further?
I'm thinking that's a lot of risk for the city. That's all. If there's... Okay. That's just, yeah.
Emily, the city engineer has been out to the site, I know, at this point, correct?
Yes, the city engineer's been out to the site. We've done, the applicants have filled all the conditions they've been asked for. They've fulfilled the punch list. I just had noted this. I was not sure what exactly was meant by it. I think I now understand more of what was meant. So it's not a matter of a heavy lift. I just have not had a chance to confirm it.
Yeah, no, I was thinking more for the applicant, not staff.
And when is the next meeting that this could go on for council?
For council, the next meeting is probably not until November 27th.
that this could even be on the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay. Seems like there's enough time to wrap that up before then. Joyce?
Well, I think that makes sense because, yeah, I don't think the city engineer is necessarily looking at setback issues either. It's the code enforcement officer.
Right, but I know the engineer was out there standing at the end of this street opening next to these buildings, because I happened to drive by him as he was doing that a couple weeks ago in his safety vest, so I think we've had city eyes on the ground here from various departments throughout this process, and I think it sounds like we have time before the next council meeting for this to get verified.
Yeah, because I think as long as this is confirmed, I mean, the town's garage has been there a lot longer than this road.
So we could provide a positive recommendation with verification by the city staff? Be fine
Right.
with that?
Yep.
So then they could do it, check the box, and it moves on? Versus coming back here another meeting?
Yeah, I think being clear that condition 19 must be met prior to the acceptance while still providing a positive recommendation
Yeah.
works.
So positive recommendations, subject to verification by city staff that condition 19 has been met. I'd make that motion.
Second.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Thank you for the second, Matt P. Any further discussion? Glenn?
Yes, I do. Why wouldn't you have the developer have his own surveyor verify that the setbacks are met and not get city staff involved in it?
Yeah, I would look for that. If I were the city engineer, I would look for a survey to prove that it's met,
I don't think-
especially if they're going to accept the street, yeah.
I'm not certain, but I don't think the city employs a surveyor.
I don't think they do.
So
But that's not the city's burden.
Right, but
Right.
we're asking the city staff to verify it when they don't have the capacity to do that.
Well, I think we're asking them to verify it in the sense of they get to decide how they want to verify it.
Who gets to decide? City staff?
Yeah, so if they say, this is how we'd like you to do it to the applicant to prove to us that it's been done. Right, Emily?
Yeah, I would work with the code enforcement director to see how he wants this verified.
Gotcha. That makes sense to me.
Okay, we have a motion by Joyce, seconded by Matt P. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call for a vote, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes,
And I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes 6-0. Okay, thank you. Emily, anything else on this item?
No, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Karen. Okay, the next item on our agenda is a request for an approval of a one-year extension in regards to a solar project located at 97 New County Road, which is tax map 87, lot 17 in the WR zone. The applicant is BWC Deep Brook LLC, referenced as Blue Wave. We are going to start with a staff overview of where this is, and then we do have some materials that were provided to us today when we got here for our meeting, and I know we have the applicants with us as well. So, Emily?
Thank you. So we received this request that was on a previous agenda, and there was a request to table it till tonight's meeting. In 2021, November 9th, the planning board had approved this project with conditions. It was a site plan and conditional use review for a 5-megawatt solar array project. It would be about 15 acres of land. and 16,700 modules with access off New County Road, and that's according to the paperwork we have on file. The project is not started, so the applicant still has time to fulfill conditions. A lot of the conditions of approval are required before the construction can start. We have sent this to the planning board for review. We thought it would be good for clarification with the applicant on anything that's remaining to be fulfilled relative to Chapter 180 standards, which became effective this year. So there's another set of solar standards that the board is asked to look at as well when we look at solar projects. There was one outstanding city engineer comment, because when we go back, look at these projects, we look at the history. And I had a November 17, 2021 review memo that Joe Laverrier flagged regarding one remaining comment on the driveway entrance location onto New County. So we have shared that with the applicant. We've asked the applicant to respond to a few of these items for Chapter 180 as well as for Joe's comment. Yesterday, we did receive some materials back from the applicant, and I'm sure they can go over some of this today. You have copies of these. There's some information as well in the after-the-fact packet. So depending on the responses, the board's preference, either this item could be continued and we could review these materials, because I have not had a full chance to review them because we received them Monday, or you could leave it up to staff to follow up and make sure that all the Chapter 180 provisions are in place. So you have options, but we did notice this as a public hearing, and then we provided a conclusion motion there as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Board members, any questions right now for city staff on that overview?
Madam Chair, I had one question. Emily, the dates are correct, right? We have the planning board's approval on November 9, 2021, and the engineers referencing comments from November 17, 2021, 8 days after.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why that happened in that order, but the dates are correct. I verified them. And I think that's part of why that comment wasn't addressed, because it was received after this went to planning board. So there was a coordination issue, I think.
So that's something we need to deliberate on.
I think the board should review it and talk with the applicant about that outstanding comment.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions right now for city staff? Okay, not hearing any. I think it might make sense to have the applicants come up now.
Thank you. Colin Sexton, BWC Deep Brook LLC, aka Blue Wave. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what everyone's thoughts are on these. That, as Matt points out, the date of those comments from the city engineer were sent on November 17th, 2021, or they actually did not make their way to Blue Wave until October of 2023. And in the memo, we are referencing that as there was 2 years of additional development work that was done relying on that approval and using that approval as a basis for our real estate agreements, our main DOT driveway entrance permit, and the discussions with Central Maine Power on the pole locations and access roads. So a lot of the work that we've done regarding that access road and some of the permitting processes required have taken that approval into account because we never saw the comments from the city engineer in November of 2021. All that being said, the general nature of this project has not changed. The plan set that we have provided here is a 2023 version of the 2021 approved plan set. That's just upgrading it from more of a 30% issued for permitting type set to a 90% essentially an issued for construction set. So just verification of racking and equipment selection, some switches to a central inverter to string inverters, which will actually be a quieter inverter, and provide the acoustic study this morning to just verify that we are still within compliance of the City of Saco's noise ordinance. And then after speaking with Emily, I believe it was 3 weeks ago, just verifying that we were in compliance with the new solar ordinance that was put into effect this year. That's where there is now an existing, a future conditions and decommissioning sheet in that plan set, along with a memo that we submitted along with that, just to provide a narrative associated with our plans to restore the site back to its original form and even expand the farmland out in the site a little bit more. This project, I just want to clarify one thing on the agenda. It references this project being in the West Residential District. In 2021, we went through a rezoning effort to bring this entire parcel into the Rural Conservation District, and it is our intention to continue the rural conservation nature of this habitat through pollinator seed mix, possibly a grazing work within the fence line, but at the very least making sure that we preserve the agricultural nature of the Fenderson farm, which has been a legacy farm for over 300 years in Saco. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Colin. Board members, questions right now for the applicant? Okay, not hearing any initial questions. As we noted, this has been advertised tonight as a public hearing.
Move to open the public hearing.
Thank you for the motion. Joyce, is there a second? Thank you for the second, Glenn. I'll call for a vote on opening the hearing, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Rob? Yes. Glenn?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes 6-0 to open the public hearing on this item, which again is a permit extension request for a parcel located at, on New County Road, tax map 87 lot 17. If you've joined us this evening to speak on this item, you're welcome to come forward now and just start with your name and address for our records.
Madam Chair, not seeing any members of the public coming forward, I move to close the public hearing.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Is there a second? Thank you for the second, Glenn. I'll call for a vote on closing the hearing, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Glenn?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes 6-0 to close the public hearing. Okay, back to board discussion. So Emily, do we have the final plan set in this packet? Can you just reference the page again for me?
Just let me look it up for you.
Yep.
It should be page 148.
Okay, perfect. Could we get that up on the screen too? I don't have a page 148. What page are you on? I don't have a 148.
127.
Oh, maybe it's 127?
Okay.
I don't know why it's showing as 148 on my PDF reader.
Okay, yes. So Emily, this is what you had on file as the final plan set, correct?
This is what I have on file now, yeah.
Okay. And in regards to that engineering comment, do we have a page that shows that street opening in the best way? Right there.
So I think it's right in here, but it's not called out. Spool is not called out.
So Colin, could you clarify for us where Spool is in regards to that?
We have the existing 2023 plans here. And Emily, I believe that those were sent to you at the same time as the 2021 plan set. So what's on the screen here was the plan set that was originally provided to the city of Saco in 2021, and so the plan set associated with our approval. That plan set has been upgraded, as I mentioned, since then to 2023.
Hello, board and staff. My name is Emma Musto. I'm from TRC, which is the engineering firm employed by Blue Wave.
So is there a digital copy in this packet of what you're about to show us?
There was a digital copy sent to the city planning center.
So we did our best to try to receive the materials. We had some issues with a data room and entering the data room, so we took everything that we got via PDF and put it into the packet. So if we're missing something, it's just because we couldn't find it on the data link.
Just a question, Emily. So, Joe made these comments, written comments in 2021, and they didn't get them for 2 years?
And I can't answer why I wasn't there in 2021.
Okay.
I can't answer why they were not submitted to the applicant. I couldn't find anything that showed that they were submitted to the applicant, so.
Okay. And I'm looking at it on Google Earth. It's a little bit better, clearer than this.
I can bring up Google Earth if you'd like.
It'd be good, because I think you could see it pretty clear at that point. It's, I can't quite tell exactly measurement, but 150 feet or so off from aligning with another private road. And while we're waiting, my thought is, this is not going to be a busy city street where people are pouring in and out of this property on a regular basis. So to have to go through the process of realignment and re-permitting everything for 150 feet for an access road for occasional usage seems a little bit much.
So what do you have here to show us? And maybe you can just kind of walk it around on the board too.
Traffic and the impact on that road. So it did pass that review, and quite frankly, if we had received these comments in 2021, it would have been a pretty easy thing for us to fix. At this time, it's very challenging for us to fix, and since it's passing all safety and traffic concerns, and the fact that we will be taking on the access road maintenance to verify that we are providing all public works departments access throughout the duration of the project, I'm hopeful that we can reach a resolution where we can move on with the existing access road in its current location.
Okay, so Emily, with something like this, as far as our ability as a board, is there anything restricting us as a board from making a decision on this? Like, do we need to default to what city engineering is requesting, or?
So it's up to the board. You want to look at any standards that you have for site plan review, obviously for conditional use review, which you've basically already done. Clearly, if this comment had been received on November 9th, I think it would have been incorporated in 2021. It probably would have been incorporated in the plan.
Yeah.
And then you have to weigh, we do have updated Chapter 180 standards, so you want to look at those, make sure that there's, the applicant has fulfilled those or will need to fulfill those. But as far as the road, no, there's nothing that says that you necessarily have to take this comment or require this alignment, but I want to make sure it was clear that it was flagged and we had this comment come up from staff.
Okay, board members, any further questions, comments on this?
Yeah, Madam Chair, Emily, has Joe's reviewed this current application in the documents we have today, and his only comment is address my comments?
So Joe, I know Joe has the plan, all the plans that went into the meeting packet. So his last comment was the road was not aligned per his November 17th, 2021 comment.
Okay. I think for myself, it'd be nice to know from Joe his intent or what he's looking for there. That's,
I mean, I think his
That's my big
intent is,
question.
as anywhere, if you've got a city street, unlike Franklin and Maple off of Bradley, where you've got that little jog, he doesn't want that to happen anywhere. But again, this is not, in my case, my view, a city street. This is
Well, neither are.
it's a driveway.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a driveway and a private road.
Right. It's not, it's not like they're gonna put a crosswalk there, and there's no sidewalks required. So it just seems like, for a utility drive, and this is not even a driveway for a residence that people would be driving in and out of on a regular daily basis. This is somewhere, they're gonna access this maybe monthly, I don't know, what is your,
Twice a month at most.
yeah, a couple of
Operation.
trucks drive in and out, then you're done. I think it's crazy at this point to try to make them move this whole thing. And especially if seems to be a gap of some period of time, significant period of time, between his comments that we didn't see, we didn't have to approve, and then when they may or may not have received it, I mean, I wasn't there when they received it, but it seems like there was a significant gap, and they're going off of what we approved. And if I could see if it was a dangerous situation where there's going to be a high volume of traffic, do you want to put a light up, a stop sign, something like that? This is never going to happen. It's a driveway. It's a utility driveway for an occasional usage for maintenance.
Can I ask, is this an existing tractor road already? I mean, is there actually some sort of roadway on the Fenderson's property now?
There is an existing roadway on the Fenderson's property way to the west that goes right past their residence. This would be a new driveway.
Okay, so this access drive, I thought maybe you were just following an existing tractor road, which would be even easier for us.
Yeah, as you can see on the screen, there's an access road that goes from the west to the east to the center of the field. That crosses directly through the Fenderson. It's the Fenderson's home driveway where the Fenderson farm stand is. It would have been overly obtrusive to access through there.
And do you have the sight lines again? I was just looking back at your DOT opening permit. Do you have the sight lines from that opening? As far as sight distances, anywhere in this packet?
In terms of sightlines, you mean from the driveway entrance to each, like, spool lane in the driveway, or?
If I'm leaving the road, how far can I see in either direction?
I don't have that with me. We
Okay.
can pull that together.
Like how you're looking at like there's a tree line that comes down right to the west of this roadway's following that tree line. And then realistically, I'm assuming that when they hit the main road, they're going to cut a couple of those trees down so you can get a good look before they pull out onto that street. From the west side, from the east side, it's wide open at this point. It's just a field. And then, yes, there's a driveway to the left and the right across the street. But,
Yeah, I remember walking this site and there was nothing glaring there.
no.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Rob on this. It seems like we've taken a lot of steps in the direction of this being a location that was previously fine.
Madam Chair, I also agree with Rob, and I further want to make a motion.
Sure, yep.
I make a motion to approve the one-year extension with no further conditions.
Thank you for the motion, Glenn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you for the second, Rob. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, I will call for a vote on Glenn's motion, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Glenn.
Yes,
And I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes 6-0.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Emily?
I just want to confirm before the applicant leaves that the code office and the planning office will be looking to make sure that all those Chapter 180 standards are fulfilled, whether or not the planning board has them as conditions or not. So just for clarity. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, let's just take a 2-minute recess, and then we'll come back and we'll tackle the rest of tonight. Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, the next item on our agenda is a request for a change of ownership on approvals regarding Amari Springs subdivision at 50 and 52 Jenkins Road, which is map 89, lots 5 and 6. We will start with a staff overview of this and then move into board discussion and deliberation. This is not a public hearing for this item.
Thank you. The board is going to be very familiar with this application. On October 24th, the board issued final conditional approval of the Amari Springs subdivision for 25 new residential lots along a road that will be designed to city street standards. We've included the history of the review here for previous subdivision materials. Our ordinance requires that when an applicant changes hands for subdivisions, the financial and technical capacity finding that the board makes with the original applicant has to be updated for the new applicant. This seems like a small beans thing, but it's pretty important because what's going to happen is when we ask for a financial guarantee, we're going to want to make sure that the LLC name on the financial guarantee matches the LLC name that the approval is in. So this is just one of the reasons why we need to make sure that the name is correct. And then also the board needs to update its own finding to clarify the technical and financial capacity of the new applicant. So that's just the reason that this is in the ordinance. And then we will need an updated plan set with the correct name depending on how the board deliberates tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Board members, any questions right now for city staff on this review?
No.
Okay, not hearing any questions. I know we've seen these in the past, but I don't know that we've had one recently. So let's just start with an overview from Austin as well, and then we'll just move into our discussion. So thank you.
Good evening. Austin Fagan with BH2M. So as Emily stated, this is the same exact project that was approved on October 24th. We're simply changing the name of the applicant and providing financial and technical capacity, I believe, to show that when the project is transferred over, which it has now been purchased by Home Innovations LLC, that they do have financial capacity still to complete the project, which we did submit. And we would just be looking for more or less board approval stating that the financial capacity is acceptable. And then I believe you have a set of plans to sign tonight from the previous applicant for that final approval, and we will give you a new updated set of plans to sign at a later time.
Okay, thank you, Austin. Board members, any questions right now for the applicant on this? Okay, not hearing any questions. So we have information in our packet provided in regards to the transfer itself and the new owner, which is an entity we're very familiar with in the city of Saco. I know he's here with us tonight, so we could also ask questions of that person in particular.
Madam Chair, my only comment, I think this is great. It's good to see all this information in here. It's clear. The financial capacity letter, I guess I'd like to see it not say purchase of the subdivision. I think that value matches the cost of construction, so I think it should more accurately reflect that. But that's my only comment.
More accurately reflect, can you clarify?
Well, I believe the financial capacity from People's Choice says it gives an amount for the purchase of the subdivision, but then there's a construction estimate here with that same value, so
Yeah, so
it just seems like it's construction, not purchasing the project, unless I'm confused, but.
we can ask Jason for some clarification about that.
Yeah, Matt, that was just I think it was more of a typo when they drafted it up, and we just caught on to it today, which was kind of a little too late. But yeah, that's just also just so you guys know that even if you approve this, we still have to submit a financial capacity from the bank to the to Emily with an additional 150% besides that. So this just kind of gives approval for you guys, but this is just really a small stepping stone to what we really have to do before we can even start construction.
Yep.
And Madam Chair, if I can, that's the financial guarantee letter. So I know we've had a lot of conversations with the board over the months about the difference between financial capacity and financial guarantee. So whoever is going to be developing this subdivision and the ultimate owner is going to have to show us and provide to us a financial guarantee from a bank, an irrevocable standby letter of credit in the name of the city of Saco that has to meet certain legal parameters and be 150% of the approved cost estimate from city engineering.
And that's typically provided always after our approval anyway.
Yeah, so we have.
That's something you work out with them later.
Yep, we have, it's usually condition number 6 or 7, the one that says before you can schedule your pre-con meeting, you have to go through these steps. So we're really, I always look for those items before we even are putting a pre-con meeting together.
Any other questions for the applicant or city staff? Okay, I'm not hearing any other questions. So as Emily laid out on page 2 of this item, which is the first page of her memo, we are tasked with making a finding in regards to 188-605B. So is there any other clarification or information any board members are looking for? And if not, I'll look for a motion of some kind.
Madam Chair, I move to find that the requirements of Section 188-605B are met, and therefore that the board should approve the request to change the ownership name on approvals.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Is there a second?
Yep.
Thank you for the second, Rob. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call for a vote on Joyce's motion, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Glenn.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes 6-0 to approve. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so moving along to the last item on our agenda. This is another change of ownership request. This is in regards to Saco Island East, which is map 37, lot 6. And we will start with an overview from Emily again. This will feel like a familiar process, and then we'll work through board discussion.
Thank you. So in 2021, the planning board approved with conditions this project, which is a subdivision of 24 dwelling units and 12 duplex-style buildings as private sewer, private driveway, and stormwater infrastructure. In May 2023, the permit was extended. This project has been under construction for a little bit of time. It was flagged for planning that the ownership had changed. I believe the code office actually had flagged this for us. We were not aware of it in May 2023, otherwise we would have brought forward the name change then when we did the permit extension. So we're aware of it now, so we've asked the applicant to bring forward information on financial and technical capacity to change over the name correctly. Already on file, so the applicant's attorney has presented a letter with information on the different LLC names, and then we do have letters of credit on file already, which we've included here for your reference. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Board members, any questions right now for city staff on the materials provided?
Madam Chair, one, so Emily, the letters of credit have the new LLC name?
So the letters of credit are in the Saco Riverside LLC name.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for city staff right now? Okay, not hearing any. I suggest we also hear from the applicant's attorney who's with us tonight.
I don't have much to add, but this was a...
Paul, could you just start by introducing yourself on the record?
Yes, my name's Paul Weinstein. I'm the attorney for the applicant. In May of 2023, the applicant changed the form of ownership of the property. Previously, Saco Island Ventures was a Massachusetts limited liability company. The sole member and manager is Edward Moore. He has since formed a Maine limited liability company of which he is the sole member and manager of, which is Saco Riverside. So we're just seeking to have the approvals updated to reflect that change. And I do have updated plans which I can submit tomorrow.
Okay, great. Board members, any questions right now for the applicant?
Madam Chair, what do you mean by updated plans? What's updated with them?
The name.
Okay, and that's it?
Yep.
Thank you.
Sorry, Madam Chair. And then, so just again, final, the letter of credit on file with the city is from Saco Riverside LLC.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant or for city staff? Okay, similar to the last review we just did, this is not a public hearing, so at this point I'm just looking for either more board discussion or if someone wishes to make a motion of some kind.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that the provisions of 188-605B have been met in this case, and that I move that the board approve the request to change the ownership name on approvals.
Thank you for the motion, Joyce. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you for the second, Rob. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, I'll call for a vote on Joyce's motion, starting with Matt D.
Yes.
Matt P.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Glenn.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. Motion passes 6-0 to approve.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, Emily, I think that concludes our regular items on the agenda, if I'm correct. And it looks like we're on to just planner discussion and updates.
Yes.
Not just planner up.
Yes, the most important part of the night.
Exactly, what we've all been waiting for this evening.
Well, then I guess it's not great that I don't have many updates.
Oh, no.
I hope,
0 updates. Okay.
No, we have several things that have been going on. We just did the pre-con meeting for 416 Buxton Road. So that was the warehouse, the Thibodeau warehouse facility. So that'll start construction soon. I know we'll be probably very soon looking at other projects for pre-cons that we just got approved on October 24th. There's a couple of items there. We are moving forward on the unhoused services study, so that continues moving along. In December, I do have some updates on timelines to bring to you, so we'll be looking at that then. That's a follow-up of a previous discussion we've had from a month or so ago about timelines and submission deadlines and things like that to make us a little more formalized into January 2024. So that's the major thing I have. That's the major list I have right now. I think I did a pretty long list on October 5th of the applications that are under review. Coming up, we do have applications in our office for 345 North Street. That's a gas station facility. 352 North Street, we are reviewing the indoor water park and hotel expansion proposal, which the board saw on sketch plan a handful of months ago. We have an expansion for 71 Industrial Park Road for the gravel laydown lot and associated infrastructure. So those are the larger projects we're reviewing. There's also a solar farm proposal on New County Road for a HEP solar project. You can see these on the projects under review tab on our webpage. So I'm just going to show you where you can find those in case anyone else is watching as well. So you just go to sacomaine.org/planning, and you can go to projects under review, and you can see everything. We have to update a couple of these from the approvals that we did on October 24th, but this is everything that the planning department has under review as of, well, right now. And what we do is we post the initial application packet for reference. This way, when we have signs out in the community and we're sending out letters, people can reference back here and look and see what's under review. So we've been doing this for probably more than a year now, Lisa, right?
Any questions on that, board members? Okay, great.
We also did not notice November 21, so I believe the direction was that we were going to meet December 5th next, because November 21st is the Thanksgiving week.
Does anyone have any conflicts on the Tuesdays in December while we're here together? We start to get into holiday schedules. So it would be, Emily, the 5th and the 19th, right?
Yes.
December. So again, no meeting November 21st. But then we'd be looking at December 5th and 19th. Anyone traveling? Okay.
What could be more enjoyable than planning board?
We could do a Secret Santa. Okay. No other conflicts?
With milkshakes.
With milkshakes, yes.
That's all any of us want. We're waiting.
In the middle of winter. Okay, so December 5th and 19th sound good. We won't see each other for Thanksgiving, so everyone have a lovely Thanksgiving. Anything else, Emily?
No, it is high. We have that coming back. That's part of the timelines that I mentioned in December, because last when we spoke about it, I was going to come back to you with timelines and submission requirements, so that will be coming back. Thank you.
Okay, I don't think we have anything else tonight, so it's 6:53 and we will adjourn. Thank you, everyone.